So at the end of the first season, he found out a lot of the that a lot of the information he thought was true about his father's passing was in fact not true, and so he had been going about his business a certain way based on a certain information that he had, and then come to find out there was the wrong information. So, and then there are also people in his family that are keeping secrets. They're keeping things from him, so he's finding out new stuff. There's a backstory about the box and who has the box and what information was in the box, and does it tell the story of what actually happened to our father? Does it implicate someone? Is there a lead? Why don't I have the box? Why does everybody have the box and I don't have it? So they're hiding things from him. So he's got to figure that out. And I think in season 1, he was kind of, he's a dog with a bone. He was going down this road and he thought he came to the end of the road and he was like, okay, I'm gonna get some answers here. And all it really did was open up a bunch more questions that he had from people that he'd been talking to.
There's some mystery around his father, but there's also, I think, it's more his family too. Because remember, after the father died, Coulter was the one that stayed with his mother. And we learn a little bit about the way that the sister and brother view his relationship with the mother, which is probably not the healthiest. So we're gonna unpack a little bit of that, and we're gonna also just unpack a little bit about, he's not a guy that's just gonna have a big therapy session. We know that it affects him, but we're never gonna get really what he feels or thinks about it, because I just don't think people process things that way. And I think that that's really important for the character. But you will, when you say solve, again, I mean this. I think the minute you think you figured out who he is, the show's over with. Because I think that's what makes people lean in.
The difference between a show like this and a show like This Is Us is, and This Is Us, they talk about their feelings. It's all about their feelings. He doesn't process. In fact, it almost activates him to do other things so that he doesn't, dwell on that. But I don't think we're gonna ever go, oh, mystery solved, because it isn't, I don't think it is really that kind of mystery.
I read the scripts and I go, oh, this is what's happening with her, and I'm learning as we go. But I think it's gonna be so exciting for everyone on season 2, especially the set and where we're gonna be and her new firm and how that office is gonna come up and who she's working with. So yeah, I think it had to happen, especially because I had no grounding. I was in every city in a different rental car every week. It was crazy. And if that was my real life as Renee, I'd be like, girl, give me a break. Right? So I need an office and a kitchen. I think we're gonna see maybe some softer sides to her that we didn't see before. I mean, I would hope so. Especially with her new relationship with Velma, how she's working with Velma, how she is letting Coulter kind of take his reins, but at the same time, she has this whole office that she runs now. So she's not at the bidding of just Coulter and her boss. She can kind of make those decisions for herself. So hopefully we get backstory, hopefully we get a little bit more vulnerability. And hopefully, she gets to run the show sometimes, right? Maybe Coulter needs her to, solve a case.
They'll be coming in and out of the show, and I think it's already been announced, Jensen will be in the 2nd episode. But it's more, if we can drop a few bombs into Coulter's life with those characters and then see how he wrestles with those, then we'll earn them coming back to sort of sort out. Because I mean, the evidence we have in the show right now is his sister definitely has a point of view about what he should do, which is just forget about it and leave it. And then you look at Jensen's character, Russell, he seems to have sort of put it all away in a box in some way and kind of just dealt with it. But you'll learn in episode 2, he's got very different memories of something that happened in their past that Coulter has no memory of.
Jensen's coming back, which is great. So can't wait to see him. But I think there's a lot more of the story to tell with the brothers, especially now coming to find out that he probably didn't have anything to do with our dad's passing, or at least not in the capacity that Coulter thought he did. And I love Melissa as a person; she's a close friend, and so I think there's a lot more story to tell there. So yeah, we have a lot of really interesting, great characters that we introduced in season 1 that I would like to see back in season 2. I think we're going to be able to do it.
I mean, I think she wants to have a little bit of fun here, especially since Coulter pissed her off so much. Russell is a great opportunity to have a little payback, but at the same time, we don't want to use anyone, right? So I think she's gonna have a little bit of fun. And I noticed that In episode 12, when Russell came into play, although that he was so forward with her and she was like, back off, I think there were moments where she was like rethinking maybe some of her thoughts. So we'll see maybe if there's more of that in season 2, I don't know. I think in regards to the Horizon group, there's a threat there, and there's a threat that's still unknown, and I think the one thing that her and Coulter have in common is the fact that she's not gonna let any loose ties just hang around, and she's gonna dig into something if something doesn't make sense. So I don't think she's gonna let that go, but we'll see. And I think her future holds, I'm hoping a bit more backstory opening up, seeing how she got to where she got to, and then also like a little bit of expansion. Not only did she leave her old firm and start her own firm, but like what team does she develop for herself to help Coulter and maybe herself?
Well, honestly, like, I mean, I've just read the first 2 scripts, which are so good. I was just telling Elwood, when I was reading the first one, I was like, oh my God, I was kept on being surprised, and it's really fun. I would say there's so much fun stuff coming, which I know about, and some stuff that I don't know about yet, and I'm just really excited to get back. And I know that, like, so Fiona and I, we've never worked together, so in the first episode, we have scenes together, and that's gonna be really fun, and I can't wait to work with Eric and hopefully Justin as well. So yeah, it's just so cool. Like, it keeps on changing, and the writers are so great, and the crew is great.
Yeah, I would love to get there out in the field, maybe get to meet Abby for the first time on the show. That'd be cute.
That'd be nuts. Will they let it happen? We don't know.
We don't know yet, but yes, I would be looking forward to that.
I love our show in that we're producing a show that you can tune in and watch it. Every episode kind of stands on its own, but I love the fact that we also have this serialized element to our show as well. You'll be watching our show and you'll hopefully be gripped by the job that Coulter's on and the situation that he's found himself in, probably a perilous situation, and then you get this little great kernel at the end where you go, oh, that case had something to do with his family and his backstory, and it ties into the character. So when you watch all of them in a row, you get the benefit of finding out a little bit more about his backstory.
I want to see some romance. Don't we want to see some romance, like some passion, even if it's for a night? Yeah, I want to see some romance, and I wonder who that's going to be with, or if maybe we haven't even met him yet.